Hey guys, this is Jay Calderon with Jay Unboxing, reacting to the Las Vegas fight card at the MGM Grand Conference Center, headlined by champion and former champion now Miguel Berchelt and Oscar Valdez. What an amazing show. I mean, it had a lot of up-and-comers showing up. It had a great main event that more than lived up to the expectations in a different way than people probably expected, but nonetheless, an amazing main event, nonetheless, with a sensational finish, and hopefully the loser of that finish is okay, but still a phenomenal show. We'll get to some quick results here. During the prelims, highly touted Xander Zayas earned a points victory, easily handling James Martin over the 6 frame distance. One to definitely watch. I really think that kid's got a lot of skill and potential. Opening up the main televised show, you had Elvis Rodriguez going the distance for the first time as a 12 bout pro, outpointing Luis Alberto Veron in junior welterweight action. Gained valuable experience with the round, so it was a good thing to see, and he seemed calm in doing so. Always a good thing to see. Okay. Hard-hitting middleweight Esquiva Falco earned another KO victory, stopping Artur Akavov after 4 one-sided rounds of action. After the fourth round, Akavov's corner had seen enough and called a halt to the action, and Falco is definitely one that could make a lot of noise in the next year or so. Undefeated Gabriel Flores looked very solid, stopping veteran Jason Velez in the 6th round of a co-featured bout of the evening, putting Velez on the deck twice. Flores improved to 20-0, recording just the 7th stoppage of his career. Very solid win. It was a very professional win for a guy who doesn't have a great deal of professional experience. And in the main event, in a fight that more than lived up to the hype, as mentioned, Oscar Valdez upset the odds and most people who predicted the fight before it happened and not after, remaining unbeaten, stopping Miguel Berchelt in a punishing fight that saw back and forth action, though Valdez was a step ahead throughout the contest. And the shot, a left hook that he lands at the bell in the 10th round to put Berchelt down for good, is a sensational knockout of the year candidate for sure. It's certainly in the league right now. Was a sensational punch. Biggest takeaways for the fight, I mean, is Oscar Valdez. I mean, just he really needs a lot more respect. I mean, even myself, I gave him a shot in the sense that I thought he was skilled enough to potentially, uh, you know, make it a challenging fight for Berchelt. But I thought Berchelt was going to win. I thought he was going to be able to beat him ultimately because, quite frankly, Valdez he's been in some wars. I mean, there's breaking his jaw or breaking his ribs in other fights, and the grueling battle he had with Scott Quigg a few years back. And you hear about this, and then even just getting knocked down by lesser opponents. I mean, you hear about these sorts of things happening with Valdez, and then you see him coming up against this absolute murderer in Berchelt, and you think, well, even if he's out to a comfortable lead, you're Berchelt, you think this is going to be going your way going into those championship rounds, and it really, in fact, was the opposite. In the beginning, it was touch and go, but you could see Valdez was pulling ahead. Really hurt him badly in the 4th round. That was probably 10 seconds away from finishing him off, or at least dropping him for a second time in that frame. He seems to catch a second wind in those second rounds, and Berchelt was gaining some momentum, but Valdez never quite let him keep rolling. And then by the end of those rounds, when you were getting into the championship rounds, Valdez looked fresh and landed just a peach of a shot, an amazing shot. Completely slept him. It was a very scary shot, as a matter of fact, but so far from all reports, he's conscious, he's breathing, he's talking, everything's good, all movement in his body, and he's being taken to a hospital for precautionary reasons. So again, hopefully everything there works out well for him. Still, Valdez is, he's a very young guy who has not a great deal of professional fights under his belt. I mean, he has, a decent amount by all means, but he still has potentially a sizable career ahead of him. A former Olympian. I mean, the guy is probably supremely underrated at this point, and his coach, Eddie Reynoso, put together a phenomenal game plan that included left hands, jabs, solid movement, turning and burning. I mean, it was a really, really solid performance. And yeah, congratulations go out to him because not a lot of people gave him a shot, to be perfectly honest. It was a nice mix up of prospects on a very solid card as well. Like I mentioned before, you had Xander, Gabriel Flores, so on and so forth. Top Rank does a great job of building those sort of fighters historically. They do a better job when they have a chance to actually fight those fighters regionally with fans, of course, but you can rest assured that if you are a good young fighter who takes time to put forth the effort in the gym to perfect and hone in on your craft, Top Rank will do about as much as it can to try and sell you. They will have their failures, like a Guillermo Rigondeaux and things of this nature that they just cannot push ultimately because for whatever reason, Cubans just don't sell all that well in boxing, but more often than not, their batting average is pretty damn decent. So, again, it's exciting to see these new, young, fresh faces coming up, especially as a lot of our great fighters are kind of entering those glory years of their own personal careers. Final takeaway here, a little bit of a question I want to leave you guys with. Maybe you guys can give your take down in the comments there. Do you think that last left hand that dropped Berchelt really needed to land? Or should that fight have been stopped a little bit earlier? Let me go ahead and know down in the comments. Love to hear what you have to say. In general, what do you guys think? Did you like the show? What stood out for you? I'd love to hear it, like I said, in the comments. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. You can reach me on Twitter, jcalderon_JOB, or email me at jonboxing@gmail.com. And until next time.